Card. Hola, ¿cómo está, friends? It's right. I'm here at this park in Carmichael City in the greater Sacramento area, California. I went on a walk uh, just about sunrise this morning. I was really restless and kind of had been feeling this like urge. It was even in my astrology. It was like follow your impulses and go. So I just went on a long walk and brought my cards naturally, my laptop. Phone died. Don't have a charger cord, but stopped at this park to have a sit and a meditation and listen to some podcasts and play with some cards. And I figured, why not bring bring some folks in on it? It's a beautiful park. It's a baseball complex. I grew up at baseball complexes. Yeah, for various reasons. But for me personally, loved baseball is definitely my biggest sport. Um, Played in high school, played in college, got injured, continued to play softball, even like men's adult baseball, softball. Coached my little brother, coached my daughter. It's really just been rad. Love softball. If it wasn't so uh, typical uh, broy American of us to make it not fun by getting so competitive. Anyways, love being out here. It's kind of like this nostalgic definitely a nostalgic place. But as you can see here, I'm pulling some cards. Let's see if I can dial this in. And as you can see, I dressed and packed for a mountain excursion of some kind. So, uh, I've been struggling to get out of podcasts because I hate fucking editing my voice and all of the ums and the breaths and the clicky sounds. And so that's a thing. Um, and I still find myself being a little ranty. So people are still having a tough time keeping schedules because of COVID and shit. So I've set some intentions, and I created this list of folks that I'm gonna send nice, good, meaningful emails to about getting them on the podcast. Because quite frankly, I think the people that can easily book guests are just fucking cheating. They don't have to talk about uh, you know captivating things for an hour straight. Um, yeah, none of them do. So I'm not bitter about it. Don't worry. Um, I like to talk. I very much like to you know bat the ball back and forth too. So we're out here. It's a gorgeous morning. It was freezing cold this morning, but it is now extremely pleasant. And what I was thinking about, what I've been talking a lot about, is this fact that I mentioned that's probably like some shock factor for some people that we are in fact creating our reality. Um, that the all of the knowledge, all of the beliefs and understandings about what our world is and what we are, um, in one form or another, has been affected by people that benefit from us. I'm not going to go into like some big overlord Illuminati cabal. It's just the case that we exist at a disharmonious level of consciousness. So, for those of you that don't know, Tool made a song called 46 and 2, um, and also one called Third Eye, that have to do with we have 46 chromosomes in our DNA. 46 and 2 is referring to our ascension, our evolution onto 48 chromosomes. Now, there's three different sets of DNA on the planet right now, and there's three different energetic grids, consciousness grids around the planet to support them. Um, one is 44 chromosomes, and those are held by your very ancient, even past antiquity, Aborigines people. So the Aboriginal Australians would be the main example. That's like that's a oneness consciousness, a unity consciousness. Like the way they perceive each other and the world is profoundly different than the way we do. Um, they have 44 chromosomes, and the way that their DNA is set up, it is. Um, so let's just quick background. Those not familiar with the golden mean or phi ratio or the Fibonacci sequence or how the fractal nature of everything, right? So everything's uh, the ratio of 1 to 1.16, like even your hand, tree branches, everything is 1 to 1.16. Yeah, the way everything grows, even the dimensions of your face. That's why when people get plastic surgery, it really fucks things up. Everything in nature does that, and what that ratio is the relationship between the relationship between the outside dimensions measurements of a square being the exact same as the circumference or diameter of a circle. So when you do this perfectly, with perfect geometric shapes, what it equates to is the square being 1, or excuse me, the circle being 1, and the square being 1.16, every time without fail. It's also why the circumference divided by the diameter of every circle is pi, an endless number. Well, it turns out the Fibonacci sequence is endless too. However, yeah, so nature is always trying to reach that proportion, the divine, whatever you want to call it, in one of a few ways. Either as a fractal, of course, or like a tree branch, or like a leaf pattern, or as if you were to graph the mathematics of like the Fibonacci sequence is just it begins with 0, and then it goes 1, 1, 2, 3, 5, 8, 11, and what it's doing is just taking a number and adding the number before it to make the next number. Now that has profound implications elsewhere also. However, very, very simple to expand, and that's what creates your perfect logarithmic spiral, right? The expanding one, like a nautilus, or some flowers. Um, so that's how it works out if you were to plot it on a graph. Nature, obviously, uses that form of geometry to try and reach that ratio, or it'll just use that golden mean, the 1.16, which means that well, excuse me, it'll use the Fibonacci too, and not just in spiral form. What it will do is, like, plants will grow, and they'll grow 2 leaves, or they'll grow 1 leaf, and then another leaf, 1, 1, and then they'll grow 2 leaves, and then 3 leaves, and then 5, and then 8, and then 11. Does that make sense? So it'll follow the numerological order without following this. But anyways, that's what nature is trying to do, is reach that ratio. That's the most comfortable because it is the circle inside a square. The circle is the most efficient self-sustaining shape. That's why bubbles, that's why planets exist in that shape. Otherwise, they'd be, triangles. Now, the tetrahedron, the pyramid, is the least amount of sides to create the most. Yeah, I think it's the most simple structural form of geometry, something like that. Because obviously, spheres tough to like sit down on things, and we can't really build spheres all that well. Anyways, it all has to do with something important. So nature's always trying to reach that. Our consciousness is not very close to that golden mean, that 1.16. Okay, our DNA, the way it's set up with our chromosomes. The Aborigines is. That's why they're so much more in harmony with the Earth. Have you looked around? We're not very in harmony with the Earth. Okay, so we have 46 chromosomes. Aborigines have 44. We will, probably by the end of the decade, have 48 chromosomes. That's what ascension is. We're not going anywhere. Okay, we're not going to another place. From what I understand, the 12th dimensions in the center of the planet, anyways. And plus, we don't go anywhere. Like, new energy grids get built, we experience the planet differently, okay? Because we come into more resonance with it.